Angel dust, the fruit of the gods, PCP, whack, zoom, juice, and blue star is just a few names for physicycline. It's according to your generation, and what you mix with it may determine what you know it is as, if you know the term at all. What does angel dust and Vanessa Morales, the beautiful baby that disappeared the night of her mother's murder, have in common? This is Vanessa's story through the eyes of strangers. On December 2nd, 2019, a daycare worker called the Sono Police Department requesting a welfare check on an employee that worked with her that did not show up for work and was not able to be reached by phone. Officers responded to Myrtle Avenue, the home of Christine Holloway and her 1-year-old daughter, Vanessa Morales. At approximately 1 p.m., the officer arrived wearing an active body camera, approached the house and knocked on the door and window, but heard no movement inside the home, nor seen any footprints in the fresh fallen snow. The officer did observe a bay-style roll-out window at the back of the home on the second floor that was slightly left open. He cleared the scene at 1:04 p.m. with no contact with the resident. Around 7:30 p.m., Christine's brother Stephen and his girlfriend showed up at the police department and reported they had been trying to get in touch with Christine all day, and they were very concerned. They stated it was unlike Christine not to call during the day or not to return anyone's phone calls. They also told police that Jose Morales, Christine's boyfriend, is Vanessa's father. He usually stays at Christine's home from Friday evening until Sunday afternoon or Monday morning. Stephen's girlfriend had stopped by Christine's residence approximately 3:00 p.m. that day to see if she was home, but there was no answer at the door. She left and contacted Christine's mother and sister about Christine, but neither had talked to her since November 29th. Stephen and his girlfriend returned to Christine's residence around 5:00 p.m., but did not make contact with her. In concern for his sister, Stephen went to Jose Morales' parents' home, where he resides, at approximately 6:00 p.m. and asked him if he had seen Christine and Vanessa that day. Jose told them he had seen them that morning around 7 a.m. as Christine was leaving for work. He said he was trying to get in touch with her also, without any prevail. While they were at the police station, the officer tried to call Christine's phone after getting the number from the couple, but her phone went straight to voicemail. The officer then called Jose and talked with him about Christine, and he said Christine was his girlfriend, and he last seen her and the baby when she was leaving for work. He told the officer he did not find it strange by her not answering the phone, and he tried calling her a couple times himself. He also explained that he lived in New Haven, not at Christine's residence. The officer asked, did Christine and the baby sleep at the Morale home that previous night? He said no, she slept at her house, and he talked to her on the phone at 7 a.m. that morning. The officer knew he had previously said that he'd seen Christine and the baby as she left for work. His story had started to change. Officers went back to Christine's house and found her new Ford Focus parked nearby, covered with snow. They attempted to make contact with Christine by knocking on the door, but there was still no answer. The officers seen the skylight window was lit up and was open. Officers started questioning neighbors, and one stated he seen Jose leaving the residence around 2:00 p.m. that day. After officers seen there was a discrepancy in Jose's and the neighbors' stories in the fact it was below freezing and there were 2 windows open, the officers decided forced entry was then needed. Her studio apartment was on the top floor above a 3-car garage with its own private access and could not be accessed through the garage. The officer gained entry and entered the apartment and located a nude, white female, lifeless, in the bathtub in a manner that was clear she was deceased. Later it was confirmed to be Christine. Officers continued looking for Vanessa, but she was nowhere to be found. Officers secured the apartment and a search warrant was issued. As part of their investigation, police had asked Arizona officials about doing a search through trash collected in the Myrtle Avenue neighborhood, but the trash was picked up Monday morning and had already been sent to Bridgeport. Neighbors were questioned, and once again, it was said Jose was seen leaving the apartment after the officer left that afternoon. He seen Jose walk out of the house, start a car, and walk back into the house and came back out 10 to 15 minutes later and then left. This was consistent with security videos in the area that was turned over and viewed by officers. The neighborhood did not see Jose carry the baby out and put her in the car. The neighbor reported they have not seen Christine and the baby since Thanksgiving. While forensics was processing the apartment, there was blood present or had been present on the walls and rug, but there were indications that the scene had been altered by attempts to clean it up. Numerous of items were taken into evidence, which included a large section of a gray carpet with what they thought was blood on it, a kitchen towel with blood-like stains. Swab samples of the area were also taken. Arizona Police Department contacted the New Haven Police Department to request officers to check where Morale lived. They wanted to check his car. The car was parked at the Morale residence, and after the police arrived, both departments approached the home. Jose's stepdad allowed them into the home and woke Jose up to speak to the detectives. The stepdad told the detectives that Christine and Vanessa was at the home from Wednesday the 27th to Friday the 29th. Christine had bought a new car on the 29th during the Black Friday sale, and Christine, Vanessa, and Jose left their home in different cars around 7 p.m. that evening. He also stated Jose spent the weekend at Christine's residence, then returned to their home earlier that day. The parents gave permission for their home to be checked in an attempt to locate Vanessa. Unfortunately, she was not found in the home. Jose was transported back to Ansonia PD for questioning. During the interview, Jose stated he last talked to her at 7 o'clock a.m. Monday morning, and they were not having problems. He stated he only stays at Christine's residence on occasions, but did not stay at her home that prior weekend and last seen Christine and the baby when she left his parents' home on Friday. He said he went to his friend Hector's home in East Haven. He had no idea where the police could possibly start to look for her and the baby. He was being very guarded with his words. The officer confronted Jose about his lack of concern for Christine and Vanessa's disappearance. He asked the officer, "Do you want me to cry for Vanessa or cry for Christine?" The officer stressed the importance of finding Vanessa. Not mentioning Christine had been found deceased, Jose said, "Okay, let's find Vanessa." The officer told him he was seen leaving Christine's residence by a neighbor, in which he said was a lie. He was told his clothes were being seized and he would be provided with clothes to wear home. He was also told his 2 phones were being seized. Jose indicates he was ready to leave, and then he was taken home. After arriving, Jose and his parents were told Christine was deceased and Vanessa was missing. The parents were visibly upset, but Jose showed no emotion whatsoever. Jose's mom said tearfully that Christine had wanted a baby very badly, and she finally had one at the age of 43. On December 3rd, search warrants for the home he lived in and his car was obtained, and they found several items they seized. From his car, they seized a large plastic black trash bag with blood-like stains located in the trunk. Other items such as hand towels, washcloths with suspicious blood-like stains were seized, along with phones and electronic devices. 2 stun guns were found, and Jose was arrested for having firearms in his possession because he is a felon. Court records show that Morales was charged 2 times in 2012 for violent incidents with an ex-girlfriend. In one instance, police said Morales pinned the woman down and threatened to break all her bones, the record showed. Morales has denied killing Christine Holloway, saying at first that he was with a friend that weekend she was found dead. He later admitted to being at Holloway's apartment, but said he was in a PCP-induced fog that weekend. Jose's friend Hector was interviewed by the FBI. When asked what he knew about the case, and he said he's seen it on the news, but didn't know the parents. When asked if he knew Jose, he said he did. He said he knew he lived with his parents and 2 of his children from a previous relationship. He knew Jose had a baby, but had never met the baby's mother. He knew the mother of the child was a school teacher. He said on November 29th, Jose picked him up and they drove to Bridgeport and purchased 7 bags of PCP and drove back to Hector's residence. He smoked a bag and a half with Jose and gave Jose 2 bags. Jose had received a phone call and he overheard Jose saying he would be home in 20 minutes, and he assumed it was a call from Jose's mother. Jose left his residence approximately 10:45 p.m. The next day, Saturday, November 30th, he texted Jose and asked if he was coming over because he was going to help Jose get his car repaired. When Jose arrived, he said he didn't have any money to repair his car and left shortly after. He stayed less than 30 minutes. On Sunday, December 1st, Jose stopped by his house, but he was watching football, so Jose only stayed a few minutes and then left. On Monday, December 2nd, Jose called him around 4:30 p.m. Jose told him to say he was at his house all weekend if anyone were to ask. There was a 911 call received by the police department at 1:52 a.m. on December 1st, and it was from Jose's phone number. During the call, a male voice kept repeating Myrtle Avenue, but did not give a house number. The male's voice was slurred. After the FBI enhanced the call, you could hear a female's voice in the background saying, "Stop, hang up, who are you calling?" The caller then hung up. The department called back several times, but no one answered. Officers checked the area, but seen no one in need of the assistance. On December 5th, the police department was contacted by the director of Kid Education, and she stated there may be items at the warehouse collected from a donation bin at St. Michael's Church on December 4th. The items had suspected blood on them. The items were a diaper genie, diaper pail, a boppy infant pillow, toy radio, baby clothes size 12 months, blocks, toys, and a bloody towel in which seemed to have blood, hair, and skin on it. Paperwork with Christine's name and address on them, a child's left pink Croc shoe, size 2-3, a trash bag containing rags with blood-like substance on them, a pair of Nike size 8, 2 3X t-shirts with blood-like substance on them, and various pieces of women's clothing. On December 9th, Christine's residence was searched again, and they found mega blocks that matched the one found in the donation bin, towels, and bath mat with suspicious stains on them found in the washing machine. There was no sign of Vanessa's car seat or car seat base in the apartment. Video surveillance shows Christine, Vanessa, and Jose at the car dealership on November 29th, and it was confirmed she purchased a new Ford Focus that day. After Jose's phone records were reviewed, Hector's time of phone calls he and Jose made to each other did check out. It also shows Jose's phone was in the area of Christine's residence from 12:50 a.m. on November 30th till 3:30 a.m. on December 2nd. His iPad showed it was on Wi-Fi in the same area of her home on November 30th. Surveillance video shows on December 1st at 6 o'clock a.m. a car appearing to be Jose's car left Myrtle Avenue and traveled to kid education donation bins, then to a Shell gas station where he tried to buy cigarettes, but his card was declined. Then he returned to the Myrtle Street residence. On December 2nd, Christine's new Ford Focus was seen leaving the residence at 7:32 a.m. on December 2nd and was seen returning at 9:14 a.m. The officer's body camera showed both Jose's car and Christine's Ford Focus at her residence at 1:04 when he did the first welfare check. Jose was in the apartment when the police were knocking on the door. The numerous pieces of evidence, but not all, that had the red substance on them that was sent to the state crime lab was identified. The black Nikes and the t-shirts from the donation bin and also the clothes seized from Jose's tested positive for blood. The loose hair found in Christine's hand found during the autopsy belonged to Jose and Christine according to DNA. Tissue-like material found in the heel of the left Nike that was seized from Jose belonged to Christine. The DNA taken from one of the t-shirts from the donation bin belonged to Christine, Jose, and an unidentified third person. The trash bag found in the trunk of Jose's car was Christine's DNA. DNA swabs taken from Jose's car gas pedal had Christine's DNA on it as well. We decided to keep some of the graphic details of how her body was found, but we will and can tell you that there was DNA test done on bone fragments located in the garbage disposal that belonged to Christine. You can put two and two together with this information. It's definitely disturbing. As part of their investigation, police had asked about doing a search through trash collected in the Myrtle Avenue neighborhood, but the trash was picked up Monday morning and had already been sent to Bridgeport by the time the investigation had began. Jose was interviewed on December 12th by detectives and admitting to smoking PCP on the night of November 29th with Hector. When asked about Christine, he said he met her on a dating website and they fell in love and had a great family life. Spending weekends with Christine and the baby was his whole life, he stated. Christine and Vanessa left his parents' home on November 29th and went home, and he went to Hector's residence where he smoked PCP. He was asked, could it be possible he was passed out and not hear the officer knocking on the door for the welfare check? He said it was possible. On December 17th, he was interviewed for the second time since being incarcerated, and he said the night of November 30th, or the early hours of December 1st, he looked out of the bathroom window of Christine's and saw guys running toward the front door of the residence. He called 911 for the police to help. He said he was out of it due to the PCP and did not say anything when 911 answered. Christine asked him who he was calling. He tried to call 911 back, but was knocked out by a punch to the side of the face. Jose said he never seen who hit him, but thought it was the guys he seen running to the door. The next thing he remembers is driving to his home on Monday, December 2nd. He said he was still under the influence of PCP. He was asked where Vanessa was while he was making the 911 call. He said he wasn't sure, but she was usually asleep in her crib or in the bed with them. The detectives discussed what route he may have taken on the way home to his parents. He spoke of two different routes he takes. He said he does remember a church with two donation bins in the parking lot of the church. He was told about the evidence that was found in the donation bins and shown pictures, and he recognized the diaper pail looked like the one at Christine's residence. He was shown a photo of the pink crock with blood on it, and he became emotional and asked if it was Vanessa's blood. The detective told him no matter how many people came into the residence and beat him up, the fact of the matter was someone tried to clean the blood up. Jose said maybe he cleaned it up and does not remember. He said maybe those guys took the clothes and stuff to the donation bin. The detective asked him where was Vanessa, and he thinks Jose made a big mistake. He was very adamant that he would never do that. On December 23rd, during the third interview, he thought that maybe it was a guy that threatened to get him a few years ago and continued to claim there was people in Christine's house that night, and they knocked him out. The detectives told him that all of the evidence pointed towards him, including the hair entangled in Christine's fingers when she died. Jose agreed everything pointed to him, but continued to say it must have been those guys. The detective confronted Jose about the scenario of Christine being put in the tub, removing her clothes to dismember her body. Jose replies that maybe someone was going to put clean clothes on her so she would not look awful, covered in blood. He became very emotional and said he did not do this, and if he did not remember. He said he would never do this to her because he loved her and Vanessa. He said whoever killed Christine took Vanessa. He denied any recollection of where Vanessa could possibly be. Jose Morales is being held on a $5 million bond after being charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Christine Holloway had his hair entangled in her fingers and his DNA under her fingernails, which is speculated she fought to the very end. There has been numerous tips of sightings, but after investigating and tracking down the tips, none of them were Vanessa. She remains missing 7 months after her mother's death and her disappearance. The FBI is still offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to the safe return of Vanessa Morales, who's due to turn 2 in September. We are not looking to arrest or start criminal proceedings against whoever has Vanessa. We just want her returned to her family. There are still 4 specific items police are looking for: her Graco car seat, a teething ring, an Eddie Bauer backpack, and a multicolor comforter. Ansonia police do believe the baby is still alive. The 17-pound toddler with brown hair and brown eyes has not been seen since the night of November 29, 2019, and police do not have a description of what she was wearing. Was she disposed of in the trash and was carried away to Bridgeport, or did her dad take her somewhere and leave her, or even give her to someone? No one's seen him take the baby from the house, but her car seat is missing. Was he hallucinating that night and killed Christine thinking she was someone else? Does he really not remember what happened that day and that night? Murder is murder. It does not make it less important because you're under the influence of drugs. The biggest question is, where is Vanessa? Is she alive, or does she dwell in the outer dimensions where the other missing children dwell? Wherever you are, baby girl, may peace be with you. Anyone with information on the disappearance of Vanessa Morales is asked to call FBI tip line at 203-503-5555 or the Ansonia Police Department at 203-735-1885 or through tip 411. Subscribe to The Missing Truth to receive notifications for further updates on Vanessa's case and many others like hers, and like us on our Facebook page. Always remember, some sort of truth remains in a lie.